Wanted to do a how-to video on replacing the pulley on a Bosch 7606N alternator. This is a common alternator. Well, it is a direct replacement for the alternator on a 6-liter Ford. So one of the things that I noticed is that there was not a how-to video on replacing the pulley. I was unsure whether or not it was going to be a left-hand thread or right-hand thread situation, and what would be the best way to go about removing the stock pulley on the alternator and replacing with the underdrive pulley. The underdrive pulley is used to overspin the alternator at idle to overcome the injector glow plug draw on the alternator. This alternator is also 140 amps rated and should, with the underdrive pulley, compensate for the draw that I mentioned earlier. So my idea here is that I'm going to put an impact gun on this nut here, but one of the concerns is how am I going to support this here so this doesn't spin while I hit this with the impact wrench. There's a couple of grooves here that you see, and you could probably jam something down in here to, kind of lock this in place so none of this turns. But I wasn't sure if that was going to cause some internal damage here, because you can see that there's some splines and wrappings or whatnot in there that are part of the electrical system, and whether or not that may be compromised with trying to lock that down. So my idea is that I'm going to just take like a regular nylon belt here, and I'm going to wrap this basically like this. It's hard to do with one hand, and I'm going to hold this in place here. And the idea is that if this doesn't work, then my hand's out of the way and the impact is just going to spin this around. But I think if I give this a little bit of resistance, the impact will overcome the torque on the threads, and it should spin it off. And then the reverse would be true. We're just putting this back on here and setting this up. So anyway, we put my things together here and give this a shot. Maybe this will work. Okay, it was impossible for me to film this by myself with holding the gun and the belt together, but it worked exactly like I thought it would. The impact gun can overcome the nut, and the little bit of resistance that you put on the belt and the pulley was enough to turn the nut out. So just standard impact gun and 24 millimeter impact socket made quick work. Reverse is true. Just put the pulley on and set the belt and just kind of pop it a couple times with the impact gun, and it seems to tighten. So what I'll do that is similar to the factory is I'm going to come in here, and where it is painted here, I'll go ahead and put a mark here on the shaft that matches the nut here, and then I can review it on the truck to make sure that it's not going to come loose, which I don't think it will. But anyway, that's it. Installed underdrive pulley on a Bosch 7606N. Thanks for looking.